Good afternoon, everybody. It's Thursday, May 7th, and I am so excited for our show today for Community Together. We have 3 high school seniors who are graduating in a different way than they were planning on it. We're excited to have them here to tell us our story. And we also have Dr. Samantha Tamburro, who we are calling Tammy, with us as a psychologist to kind of help us navigate this. So first of all, welcome to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
You bet. So let's just go around and introduce yourselves and tell us where you are, what school you're at, and if you've committed to go to college the next year. And Abby, why don't we start with you?
All right, so I'm Abby Dermott, and next year I'm going to be attending SMU in Dallas, Texas. And there I'm going to be playing D1 soccer, and I'm on a pre-med major. So I'm looking forward to it.
Congratulations. And what school are you graduating from?
Oh, I'm graduating from Oak Park High School.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Joey.
Hi, my name is Joey Elbaum. I'll be graduating from Agora High School to be studying at the University of Southern California next fall, studying journalism.
Congratulations. Big step. Isabel.
I'm Isabel Rogerson, and I'm graduating from Westlake High School, and I will be attending Loyola Marymount University to study theater arts.
Congratulations. I think I have 3 smarties on. And Sammy, let's introduce you.
I'm Sammy Tamburro. I graduated a long time ago, actually from Westlake High School. And go Trojans, because I am a Trojan. But I'm a clinical psychologist that works with adolescents and families, and I've been working in the Westlake area for 25 years.
So tell me, and I'm just going to throw it out there and let's see who picks it up. Tell me how you've been feeling about, since we've been, stay in place, what you've thought would happen with your high school graduation and what is happening with your high school graduation. And I'm going to go around the other way. Isabel, what did you think was going to happen, and how's Westlake planning on doing the graduation?
So obviously we were planning on having the whole big ceremony on the field with everyone being there and having your family and friends being able to watch. So obviously because of Corona, we're kind of switching things around. And what Westlake has said so far is that we're hopefully planning on doing a full ceremony just like we would before, but we're just going to postpone it. And if that doesn't happen, we're hopefully going to do a ceremony with just the students attending, and they're going to live stream it so that everyone can watch us walk across the stage as we would, but just not having as many people there in order to kind of promote social distancing.
And when is your graduation? When was
What was that?
When?
Oh, it was supposed to be June 6th, I think.
So you got
or
another
June 11th. June 11th.
Okay, so another month to try to put that together, and but they're trying to do some kind of in-person graduation for the seniors.
They're hoping to do that, yeah, and just postpone it if everything is safe. So.
Okay. Joey, what's Agora doing?
Yeah, so Agora, same as Westlake, was supposed to have the big old ceremony, everyone on the field, like they always do. So since then, they've been considering any and all ideas, but what seems to be the front runner and what will probably end up happening is a virtual video graduation where some professional filmmakers will create a video for us, and if student speakers will speak, and then it'll be in the video, a student song will be in the video. So it'll be a similar ceremony, but we'll just be watching a video rather than the whole situation. But an additional option they've been hoping to consider is in small groups, as social distancing guidelines are lifted, to have students walk across the stage in our high school theater and accept a diploma of some sort, and that'll all be put into the video. So it'll be one commemorative graduation ceremony video instead of a in-person ceremony.
I love it. I mean, very creative. I gotta say, they're really trying to get you guys involved, and they're keeping you updated, and just kind of, are they asking your opinion?
For the most part, they're trying to be as transparent as they can and what they know. Obviously, we're just as in the dark of what the future holds as the school board and administration is. So it's difficult to determine exactly what will happen in a month, even just because it changes so quickly. So every day is just new updates and trying to figure out the best course of action.
And then you have Oak Park, who was supposed to be graduating in like 2 weeks. When were you supposed to graduate, Abby?
Yeah, I think it was about 2 weeks, right around Memorial Day weekend. So originally, like you guys, we thought we were going to have the whole ceremony on the field, but as of now, I think we are going with the virtual graduation option. But in order to like kind of get everyone together, we're doing sort of a drive-through ceremony earlier in the day, and then later will be the virtual thing. So I guess we all go in our cars, and the teachers will be there and all the staff, and just kind of a little ceremony while practicing social distancing. So at this point, I think it's the closest we can get, but they're really making an effort to make the best of this situation. So that's what we'll be doing.
And are they communicating? Are they keeping you in? Are they asking your opinion, or are they communicating with you?
We've been communicating with them mostly through our student government. They'll ask for us, and then they've been having meetings with the people who decide all of this. So they've been advocating for us and everything. So they actually have done a fairly good job of being transparent, and we get updates with emails and through Parent Square and Student Square. So they've done a good job of it, I think.
So tell me, how's this making you feel? Like everything that's going through your seniors who had all these high expectations of events, prom, grad night. I'm not gonna I don't want to kill your spirit, but let's be real. I know I had seniors and I get it. What's going on with you in your kind of mindset, and how are you handling it all?
Okay. Oh, sorry. I mean, it's definitely been hard because a lot of my things, like we didn't have a junior prom. It was really mostly seniors that go, and our grad night was supposed to be super fun, and just knowing that we've missed out on that, it's definitely been hard. I think I've actually done a decent job of keeping my mind off of it. I don't know if that's the best thing to do, but I've just been distracting myself by baking, and I've taken up knitting and just stuff like that. But I know definitely for some of my classmates, it's been rough for them, and they've really struggled to accept that we aren't going to have anything. And I think I'm more looking towards the future, but I don't know. It's definitely been hard.
And I love the honesty, because I think the honesty is super important to help you process it. And obviously we'll get to you, Sammy, but Joey, how are you guys dealing with it? How are you dealing with just kind of the emotional, the expectations, and then the rug being pulled out?
Definitely been hard to just accept in the first place, because on top of all these senior events that everyone has, I was supposed to be in 2 musicals, one in the end of April, one in the end of May. And then I also was in my last season of volleyball. I played all 4 years. So I very clearly remember Thursday was March 12th when all of the schools started to shut down, and I was supposed to have our first league game that day. And I remember my coach texting me saying that the game's canceled and practices are delayed until further notice. And that was just a moment where I was what? What do you mean? Because I can never picture my senior shows, my senior season being just shut down like this out of nowhere. And I think one of the hardest things to accept is that March 13th may have been my last day it will be my last day as a student on Agoura High School's campus with all my classmates. No one thought to say goodbyes, and no one thought it would be the end. So it's just really weird to know we're never going back to high school in person, to have those last together as a class, whether it was with my best friend or someone I barely have spoken to. Knowing that we're seniors and finishing this together would have been such a special experience that I think that's one of the hardest things to digest. It's more of the celebrating each other's accomplishments more so than the events, in my opinion. Because I know I would have loved a grad night or a senior prom or a senior picnic, but I think doing it with each other is what would have made it so special. Losing that, I think, is a difficult part of it to understand.
Yeah, very well said. Isabel, I'm going to guess the same and similar, but let's share.
Yeah, I mean, for me, honestly, like, I feel like a lot of people, it's been pretty crushing. For me, I mean, everyone's experience is different, but high school was a little bit difficult for me in the first 3 years. And then the whole time I had just been looking forward to senior. I was like, this is it. This is going to be the best year. And then having, all of the last events and the things that I've been looking forward to be taken away is hard. Like Joey said, we were in a musical together. It was going to be my last musical of all of high school, and that was really special to me. And then having that taken away was really hard. And just having like everything, I mean, I felt like it was like a closure, like having all of the senior events, graduation, prom, senior picnic, grad night, it was all like a big closure for me. And having that is like, it's a little bit, I mean, it's also very anxiety producing. I feel like just not knowing, everything's unknown. So it's definitely been difficult, but I feel like Abby said, I'm trying to look forward to the future and what we will be able to experience. So.
Wow, Sammy, there you go. You got a plate full of anxiety, expectations, crushed, and I'm sure you're hearing it a lot. So I'd love for you to kind of pitch in. What are you hearing out there, and how are you having your students handling it?
Well, absolutely. I'm so grateful for all three of them being willing to be so honest about like what this experience is like for them, because it's hard. And definitely of all the kind of age groups who are having to do virtual learning right now, the senior class is the ones who are really getting affected the most. Whether it's their graduations all the way up into like, are they going to go away to college, and what's that college experience going to be like? And so they're kind of getting hit on both ends of it, and being able to really look at like, okay, so how do we deal with it? And Joey, I think you hit it on the head, of that idea of closure, right? In truth, like no one knew that I think you said March 13th, you know the date, that you was your last day, and being able to say, okay, like, you didn't know that at that point in time, that was your maybe only chance for closure with some of the people that you had seen on campus for the last 4 years, and so really looking at, I think part of it is just that sadness of missing their like ceremonial things, but it's not just the ceremonial part of it, of that experience. And that's a wonderful experience, graduation, grad night, prom. But those are some of the ways that we that you guys as seniors would do closure. Those are those things that are kind of signify, hey, you did it, you made it, this is a closure. It prompts you to say goodbye and really recognize, okay, I'm moving on to a different point. And so being able to look at not just like, so we have all kinds of emotions happening here. We're able to, we talk a lot about the sadness and the anxiety, but what we don't talk about is just being angry. Like, I would guess as a high school senior, I mean, I was a high school senior a long time ago, but I can only imagine like there's got to be a lot of anger also, like as to like, okay, great, had to be my senior year, and for those of you who have like older or younger brothers and sisters, like a jealousy of, okay, like, well, they're not going to have to deal with this. And so being able to truly recognize like the range of emotions. And I think what's hard is at the same time that all of you are kind of needing the space to have those emotions, we as parents are full of emotions as well, and full of, fear and anxiety and, frustration also. So I think, unfortunately, as parents, we don't always have the space to allow them to have those feelings. And so I think that is what I'm seeing as the hardest piece, is that as everyone is affected by this, we're all needing to support each other, and being able to talk about how like full our own emotional trash can is, at the same time as being able to be willing to hear, from our kids that they're struggling too.
I mean, I think it's interesting because I think you hit something as far as like, you're angry, like you can be angry, but there's nothing you can do about it. That this was put upon you, and there's not one thing that you guys can do about it. And also, your parents were robbed too, like to see and appreciate and be part of your celebration. And this is nothing that any of you can do. I think the question is what can you be doing to either alleviate the anger or to make sure that you stay focused on the future, because there's a lot of anxiety about where you're going. And I'm going to pivot that a little bit, and then I'm going to come back to your high school. What are your colleges saying about next year? Like, I don't want to pull more anxiety into you, but you're mentioning it. What are colleges saying to you, and what kind of anxiety do you have about that?
Yeah. I'll start. Oh,
okay.
Well, I mean, I'm going to Loyola Marymount, and that's in Los Angeles, and so far they've been pretty open about trying to be hopeful for the future, and they're hopefully going to open up in the fall. But they've had some online orientation kind of things, just trying to introduce us to how everything is kind of going to be working in the fall if it does end up happening. But I know a lot of people, it's affected where they're going to colleges. I, for one, was planning on going to New York or to the East Coast. But because of how unsafe that is right now, I mean, I think a lot of people have been choosing to stay close to home. And so that's obviously like impacting, where people are going in the fall and which places are opening up.
And kind of like, but in the long run, you are closer to home, and you're lucky that you are closer to home, and you're going to be closer to home. You know, Joey, what's USC saying as far as what are they planning on doing? Are they still planning on moving forward with dorms? And
so as of now, they're remaining as optimistic as possible with a cautious thought process, I guess is a easy way to put it. Of course, as of now, they're still hoping and planning on having this in the fall. But there has definitely been talk and suggestion of, if it isn't any better, of moving classes to sort of hybrid type of situation where classes that are necessary and kind of mandatory to be in person, like a lab class or a class where it has to be hands-on with students, will be in person, but large lecture hall classes or classes that are able to be taught online or virtually may remain that way in the fall until everything completely clears up. So it's kind of a half and half approach is a possible situation right now, where if it has to be in person, it will be with plenty of safety precautions, but classes that don't have to be in person may not be as of now.
so, Abby, playing soccer,
Yes.
that is probably not possible to be social distancing. What's SMU telling you about being able to play soccer and coming to SMU to play soccer?
So, I mean, it's a little different because SMU is in Texas, and that's one of the states that is trying to open up a lot faster than others are. I'm officially going back in the fall. They released a statement saying that. But for me, for soccer, they have us come actually at the beginning of July. And we go and we take summer school classes and we do our preseason training. And at the moment, I am still expected to go like early July. And that is under deliberation there. But I think I find out in about a week or so what the deal is with summer school and if that's going to be online and everything and when I'm supposed to go back to train. But And otherwise, they've done a great job of like having sort of orientation things for incoming freshmen. I've participated in a bunch of like virtual admitted students day and like virtual online tour, and I met a bunch of the teachers from like the chem and bio departments. So they've done a great job of like utilizing online resources for that. But my summer's still a little bit foggy as to what's going to happen.
So Sammy, any advice on how students can be dealing with the anxiety of the unknown? Because I think for the sophomores, they know they're going back. I mean, they might have anxiety about what the school's going to be like, but I think seniors, they need closure and they also were excited. So how do they deal with that anxiety?
Right. I think the best way to deal with anxiety of the unknown, and right now, I mean, Lydia, we all have it. None of us know what's going to happen next. But being able to try not to get too far ahead of ourselves. We all want to plan and what's it going to be like at school, what's it going to be like in July, you know, how is school going to happen in September, and to be able to kind of step there, think, you know, take a second and go there, but also not stay there because we don't have those answers yet. And so we can just be spinning and spinning and spinning and really trying to keep coming back to, okay, well, what do I know right now? What do I know? What information do I have today? And what can I do with that? And really try not to spend too much time, you know, and that's super hard as a, you know, graduating senior. You want to plan your dorm room, and you want to plan, you know, your roommate and what's it going to be like. And but to really be able to kind of take a step there, dip your toe in, but come back to right now.
I know. Somebody's typing and we can hear you typing. So whoever's typing, please stop because we can hear it in the background. I don't know who it is. I agree. I mean, I think that's like you can only control what you can control. So good advice. Like maybe we still hear typing, so I don't know who's doing it. None of us are typing. Not me. So I think the question is like you can only handle what you can handle. There's a typing in the background. I don't know. Sue in my background. I don't know. Sorry, we are live.
But Lydia, I mean, isn't this like kind of how we're trying to manage everything these days? Is like, okay, there's that thing in the background. You know, there's that coronavirus. So there's like Abby, like we were talking about, like, okay, there's that feeling. I'm frustrated. I know I missed out on graduation, but I'm gonna try just not to think about it. Like I hear it. It's a buzzing in my ear, you know. But I'm gonna try to just like say, okay, I hear it. Whatever. It's annoying, but I'm just gonna move on. You know.
Very true. Very true. Very. I mean, I think we have to appreciate, live day by day. I want to kind of focus on one. Let's talk about one thing grateful that came out of this. Like as bad as it is, what is one thing that you learned about yourself, or that you took on, or that your friend group? What's one grateful thing that you took away? And I also want to say, if there's one thing that you could have had for your senior year, what's the one thing you wish that they would have been able to do? So one bad and one that you're grateful for. And I'd love for you to just share and just be real true from the heart. And you guys have all been terrific to share. So Joey, let's start with you.
All right. One thing I've learned, I think, definitely that there's strength in a sense of community. I know if I didn't have all my close friends and people supporting me and knowing that we're all going through this together, it would be a lot more difficult. Like through this process, I definitely learned that when we have each other, we can get through it a lot easier and a lot less painfully. Because it's not just you or me going through this; it's the entire country, the entire world. So it's good to know that we have each other to support and to lean on when it's more difficult than it is. And then one thing I think I definitely will miss out on is going to be my senior prom. That's something I know I've always been looking forward to, and to finally be so close and then get it taken away. That's definitely a once in a lifetime opportunity that I'll never experience again. But like I can experience a senior brunch or a senior picnic if I go to the park with friends, but the entire experience of prom I can never imagine or experience in my life again. So that's probably the one thing that I'll miss out the most.
Very well said. And I know the community and is super important. Conejo has come together as a community. Your group of friends have come together as a community. So thank you for sharing. Abby.
All right. One thing that I'm grateful for is that I'm surrounded by my family and my friends that I'm incredibly close to, and they've been a huge support system for me in this. And I think this experience has sort of made me realize how grateful I am for that, because I think sometimes I might take it for granted. And I know that this would have been so much harder to go through if I couldn't confide in them and tell them how I'm feeling, and for them to be like, we understand we're feeling the same way. And it just, I guess, yeah, it's sort of like that sense of community that Joey was talking about, but on a little bit of a smaller scale. So I've been super thankful for that to sort of help me get through this. And then the thing that I would have wanted from my senior year, I think would have been my graduation ceremony, because I feel like I've worked really hard these past 4 years, and the graduation ceremony would have been a way for me to sort of celebrate all of that hard work and to be surrounded by my friends and the people I've spent those 4 years with, and just that feeling of being like, I did it, and throwing my cap in the air and all that. So I'm definitely bummed to have missed out on that, but hopefully my college one will be fine.
4 years from now, oh boy.
I know, I have a senior graduated college, and so we missed out on that, throwing the hat up and doing the whole thing. So it's a senior 4 years later that graduated last week. So we'll share that in a second. Isabel, what are you grateful for, and what do you wish one thing that you could do?
Yeah, so I think, similarly, it's really easy to get caught up in life sometimes, just with all of the things going on. Everyone, I feel like, has a busy schedule. And with everything kind of being stopped and at a halt, I feel like I've had a lot of time to just be grateful for the things that I get to experience every day, being able to go to school and sit in the classroom with my classmates. Even though it's easy to get frustrated as a senior, you have senioritis. But honestly, I feel like I've had time to sit and reflect on how much I miss it. And so I'm really grateful for just being able to go outside and go to school and have a good education in person. And just to not take advantage of the time that we get to spend with our close friends and family. And the thing that I'm going to miss the most probably is also my graduation ceremony. It's still kind of up in the air as to whether we're going to have one in person or not. But if we don't, that was going to be kind of my closure and my last time to spend with my classmates. And like Abby said, just a celebration of the accomplishments that we've all had and being able to celebrate that together. So.
You three are very well spoken, and just being able to share from the heart. I could feel it, and it was wonderful. Sammy, any words of advice for what they said, or for the people listening out there in our community?
Oh, I think for everybody, it's really just take life one day at a time right now. And Isabella, you said so beautifully of I think it's slowed our life down, so that we can recognize where we all used to maybe take for granted that we drive by the beach of most of our life, right? Driving to the beach and actually being able to sit on it is an amazing thing these days, so just being able to, kind of try to stay present as best we can, and give ourselves and everybody else some grace in how they're managing this situation.
And the only thing that I will add, and in closing, is what we learned last week with my daughter's graduation is all three of you and your schools and your families know how much you've earned your graduation, and you have earned it, and you deserve it to be celebrated. And in whatever way the school and your family come up with a celebration, embrace that, because it will happen in some way, in some fashion. And don't take that for granted. And I think that like the most important thing is stop having expectations of the way anything's supposed to be, because in life, obviously, everything can change. You three are amazing and have, shared with us today, deep from the heart. You've earned every bit of your celebration and your graduation. I wish you all the best luck for you in college, and wish you just incredible success. And, Sammy, thank you for being with us today and just sharing really from the heart, from day by day, right? Just day by day. And all three of you are just, congratulations to all of you. Class of 2020, you will be all in this together, and you will have a bigger bond than you can imagine when you look back, because nobody else will be able to say their graduation was taken from them.
Yes. Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Thank you.